Well, swing trading is easier. You're not fighting near your entry all the time. But obviously, it's most important is to find what works for your personality. But understand that you will, as a day trader, you probably will never make like really big money. The same way a good swing trader, a good position trader will make. Like no matter how good you are, it's hard. Just because it's just not scalable. But to make many millions per year just from day trading, very possible if you're good. But to make tens of millions, that's tricky. Just from day trading, very tricky. On that type of size, you have to trade with, there's just not stocks that are that liquid. On futures, yeah, futures I guess are much more liquid, and Forex too, but Forex, I've never met a Forex trader that made millions. It feels like it's mostly new traders who think they can make money of Forex. Those are the people trading Forex. Like it's just same thing with options. Like there's so few options traders that are successful. And I'm talking about like retail people. But there's a lot of retail people who are very successful at trading stocks. So for me, it's a no-brainer what I should trade. It's a no-brainer. Stick to the easy stuff. Don't make things harder than they have to be. If you can make 10 million the easy way trading stocks, why would you want to make 10 million the hard way trading options or futures or Forex or something like that? Like for me, it's a no-brainer. Exactly, it's so random. Stocks are not random. Stocks move the same way they have for hundreds of years. Like Forex and futures, or I don't know, those things are just, super random. XBIO. No, XBIO had actually a very interesting intraday pattern. Gapped up on extremely high volume, pulled back, found support on this moving average. And then kind of went sideways the whole day, built higher lows. And then it took out this range here. And went up 50% in a couple of hours. And then it faded back. But these patterns happen on all time frames, on the daily charts, intraday charts, and the weekly charts. These flag patterns are very powerful. And the more powerful the first leg higher is, the more powerful the next leg higher is going to be. Most of the time. Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. I mean, day trading is tiring. It's just super tiring. I hate it. I mean, sometimes when I see something really good, yes, but mostly it just takes a lot of time, and there's just so much easier to make money swing trading, in my opinion. The hard part about swing trading is you have to wait for sometimes multiple months and do very little or almost nothing. That's the only hard part with swing trading. With day trading, you can trade pretty much every day. There's always opportunity, especially the first hour or 2 hours after market open. There's always something to trade. But swing trading, you just have to sit on your hands, do nothing. That's the hard part. I'm still, unfortunately, learning that. But you gotta find some hobbies, That's how it is. That's why I've been playing World of Warcraft a lot lately. Like, I haven't played video games in 10 years or 8 years. But the past month is like I haven't played this much since like 2011, 2010. And that's because the market has been super slow, and you have to entertain yourself in some way. Like when I identify a parabolic, like I made, this is one of my 3 bread and butter setups, okay? you know, yes, it could have gone higher, but you know, it's just the risk. At some point, the risk reward goes from heavily on the long side to heavily on the short side, and this is where it happened. The risk rewards flips, and you always want to trade with the risk reward in your favor. DQ is hitting new highs every day. Where did I sell it? Something like 50% ago. But DQ on that, yeah, but yeah, DQ never went parabolic. Like Tilray, that was a parabolic. Like if you don't see the difference, you know. I even wrote the whole blog post about that setup, or actually all of 3 of my setups. This is my bread and butter. You always want to cover into the moves, like I explained before, because you always know where the stock can go. Like you always know your max target on a short. It's 100%, and it's rare. You know, stocks rarely go down more than say 40-50% in a few days, even though the parabolics. You always, if the stock goes down 5-10%, you always want to cover into those moves. You know, a little bit, but this time I think I may have covered few too few. Can you say that? Hey David, can you say a few too few? Or does it sound stupid? IDEX a good setup? No. IDEX was a good setup down here where I initially bought it, and I broke my own sell rules and sold it the next day, and it's more than a double since. Up here, no, it's not a, it's straight up, guys. Like it's straight up. Let it, you know, this is not a good flag. No, it's not a good flag. It had one leg higher, second leg higher, third leg higher in a very short amount of time. I don't think the risk reward on IDEX is very good. No, it doesn't mean you should sell your IDEX. It just because it's not a good long setup doesn't mean it's not a good. It doesn't mean you should sell it. It's two completely different things. You need to think in rewards in terms of risk reward. Like Tilray, that thing had a seriously skewed risk reward. Like that was a parabolic. Like IDEX is not a parabolic, but also it's not a good setup. It needs to go sideways on at least another week, in my opinion. I think the 20-day needs to catch up at this point, because it's at such a big move. It needs to digest it. Doesn't mean it can't, you know, go straight up from here. It's just not a good long setup. You know, you want a big edge. If you trade, you want a big edge. You need to find this really, like really good setups. Like preferably, you want to find early high tide flags. Okay, like something like Tilray, where I bought. Well, initially I did buy it on the range break here, and I sold on the way up. But this is now my biggest long trade ever, I think. Maybe or the second. Like this one was early high tide flag. It was the first leg higher, right? IDEX, it's already on leg 3. You want to buy early flags, or if they have gone sideways for a bunch of times, so the 20 or sometimes even the 50 catches up, then they can be good too. But right now it doesn't look good. Since I started trading in 2011, I joined Twitter in 2012, I think, or was it 2011? Like I've seen these experts and these economics people and all these, you know, everyone's been, not everyone of course, but a lot of people have been so bearish for years and years and years, and still, you know, markets are going higher. World economies are in, with some exceptions, in pretty decent shape. And you know, I don't know. I follow price action. That's what I learned from it. You know, you can't listen to people's opinions because they're just, you know, most of the time they're worthless. The only thing you have to listen to is the market and the price action. That's the only thing.